listening. This is Dave Rogers with the Authors Series, and today I have Bruce Outridge. Hey, Bruce, how are you today?
Good. How you doing?
Great,
Everybody.
We're actually
you're the only show I know that has to go good morning, good afternoon, good night, all in the same intro. I don't do that. You do that.
Absolutely, because again, it is funny because tomorrow when we're running our session, we got people from South Africa, Singapore, Malaysia, Perth, the UK, and so it's really one of those wonderful things. Yesterday, I was up at 5:30 doing some work in India. We're talking today, though, about You're Not Done Yet, a guide to creating a life you want. And Bruce, I'm going to do a little quick rapid fire with you today because I really want to just get some real touch points for you. The first one is, tell us a little bit about you and why did you write this book?
Why did I write this book? I wrote this book, You're Not Done Yet, to help people who may not have all the education they need. Maybe they're thinking they're not good enough. Maybe they just need a little more inspiration to feel that they can keep going. Just keep going. Just get started on something. You don't have to be perfect. Just start something and get going out of the box. And you're not done yet. And you don't realize how far starting something and keeping going with something can take you. And you may learn some new skills, learn more about yourself, and maybe get educated in something at the same time. So it works for a lot of people.
And Bill, you're absolutely right. Bruce, the fact that you were the guy that inspired me to go and even do something as simple as go and get a sketchbook. And again, even the first sketch, it was like scary, but by the end of it, a full sketchbook. And I want to say thank you. And a lovely lady in Singapore, Sue King, who inspired me to tap into the inner artist. And there was a lot of healing in there too, because amazing thing about being a child in the art class in Canada is that there's a lot of trauma that occurs in music, in art, for some people. Probably not your realm, yet that was something that definitely happened in my case.
Yeah. You know what's it's funny because people, as a child, you can do a piece of art, no matter how terrible, people will tell you it's good. They'll encourage you as a child. But for some reason, when we get a certain age, you can do that same drawing and they go, oh yeah, that you're not going to make it. And so I think it's great that you started and now look at the art you're producing. And this has only been, I think, since the pandemic, right?
Absolutely. It's something that kicked off in March, and I'm actually seeing the way that it can be used in therapy for men particularly. So it's something I want to talk to you about because I know that you're doing some great teaching and you're really patient, and you've also used comics, and then you've used some of the classical that you're doing right now. It's absolutely fantastic. So definitely, we'll keep you in mind on some of those possibilities. The next question about the book is, if you really had to distill it down to what is the key theme and the main point or takeaway that you're hoping people will take away from the book?
Just get started. You never know where it's going to end. That's it in a sentence.
It's beautiful because, again, we know that some people, again, 90% of books that are bought and never read yet. Just get started. Yet I'll add to that is Bruce will teach you how to get started. He'll teach you ways to get started. And that's what the book really did. When I read it in a sitting and I loved it. And so thank you so much.
Yeah.
What advice would you give to new authors or people that are pondering and thinking about writing a book?
Just get started. Do I sound like a record here, Dave? I hate to say that, but you know what? It's true though. If you just get started, most people think about the end. So, if you're going to write a book, you think about, okay, I got to put out, let's say 300 pages. How do I write? 300 pages is daunting if you have not started or if you've never written a book before. 300 pages is a lot of pages. But if you just say, hey, I'm going to write, one page today and another page tomorrow, or maybe I'm going to have a chapter done by the end of this month, you'll get started and you'll see that 300 pages isn't that far down the road. But most of us look at the end goal, we get overwhelmed by that end goal, and then we shut down and don't do anything. And that's why I'm very much into just get started. Even if it's a page, even if it's a paragraph, even if it's the title, get started. And then you will see that you'll gain some momentum. It's like a rock rolling down a hill. You'll gain some momentum. And then before you know it, you will have your book done.
You're absolutely right. It's just like you could start with just writing on a piece of paper or writing in a journal and just get started. Great advice, and it really is relevant here, folks. So thanks, Bruce. Next question. You can't answer it the same way this time. This book, If we could get it into the hands of someone in the next 6 months that you would love to get it into their hands, who would that person be?
You want me to name somebody? No,
Or one or two people.
Well, you know what? I'm going to say my son, Kyle. I don't know if he's read it or not. He's got a copy. I gave him a copy. I don't know if he's read it, but he's got so much potential, and he's still trying to find that career of choice for him. And I think he'd be one I'd love to see him read it and see him inspire from. I don't care if someone reads it as much as does it work? Does it connect into something? Does it inspire you to do something? That's the whole idea.
Okay. So that's great, because that's something that you've actually done. Is it's in his hands. Let's take it to the other perspective, because this is more of the throw it out to the universe. Whose hands would you like it to land into in the next 6 months?
Oh, I don't know. You know the guy. I'm going to say Andrew Matthews, because he's been a big hero of mine. So he would be somebody, it'd be an honor for him to say, hey, look what I got. But I would not expect that. So
what's beautiful about you saying that is I can actually tag him on this video. So I know that he'll get it. He is a friend on LinkedIn, and he's I know he's a friend of yours.
I know he's a friend of yours, but I did not say it. I did not say it because of that, because you know from our conversations, I've always been a big fan of his over the years. And
he would find it to be a wonderful book also. So the next question is, what are some ways that people get a hold of your book? Where can they reach into it? Where can they connect and be able to get a copy?
Probably the easiest place is you'renotdoneyet.ca, which is the website for it. They can go to bruceoutridge.com, which both will take you to the same place. And then if you're on Amazon, you can find it there as well.
All right. So that's great. So Amazon, reach out to You're Not Done Yet, Bruce Outridge. These are ways to get your hands on it. It's a great gift book for Christmas. It really can get people thinking if they're going through some anxiety, some depression, some stress. It gives them some great strategies to move forward into 2021. And so that's the wrap of this little Meet the Author series. If you've learned something, if you've had some fun, if you've got a comment, add a like, add a question, add a comment. Subscribe to the channel, YouTube, Continual Shift. Bruce, have you got some ways for people to reach out to you, other ways for people to reach out for you in social media?
Well, I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and you can find me on LinkedIn as well. I follow you. If they're following you, they'll see me, and then they can follow me. And I think that's, and keep up doing the good work. You're doing some amazing things, Dave. Just keep going with it, man. You're doing some amazing stuff.
All right, that's almost a wrap, because there's always got to be that little bonus session. The bonus session is, again, besides your book, besides my book, Get 2020 Vision, was there another book or an influencer that really had an impact on you in 2020?
Oh, in 2020. That's a good question. Wow. You know what? I have, as much as we've been in a pandemic, I haven't read as many books as I actually should be. The other one was Rich Redmond's book. I think Rich Redmond, I have to say, he's got one called Crash Course to Success. He's a drummer for Jason Aldean, for any of you who are in country music. He's been there 20 years. I had him on my show, and he's got the same philosophy that you and I have, Dave, and great podcasts and everything. So I would say Rich Redmond if I had to say in a sentence.
Fantastic. I'll put a link to him down there. Bruce, thank you so much for your time. You've always had this big heart to be able to share with people, to give, pay it forward. And I really appreciate 2020. While a lot of people have had challenges, I know you've been full out busy, because you're always looking for ways to adapt, to be pivoting, and to also pay it forward. So thanks very much, and wishing you the very best moving forward.
Thank you too, buddy. Appreciate it. Thanks for having me on. And 2020 is almost over. Let's go 2021.
All the best. That's a wrap.
Thanks.